you action figure enthusiasts out there. JC here, and welcome to a Friday edition of TNInews Live. And today is kind of, you guys are going to be my guinea pigs today as I'm testing out a couple of different new features and techniques here with the live stream. So first of all, the big difference, if all is going well, people on my own Facebook page and Instagram pages, along with here on YouTube, will be able to watch the stream as it happens. So simultaneous streaming on 3 different platforms, testing it out for the first time. So hopefully that is going to go well. Now, I don't know exactly. I don't think comments made on those other platforms show up here. So, but that again is just kind of something I am testing out here. Also today, you can see, I also just wanted to test out this little setup here. Actually forgot to set up my little extra light here, but I just wanted to, I'm not doing like any kind of full-on review here or anything, but I got my new Studio Series Megatron here, and so just testing that out here as well. So we'll take a look at this one here in a few minutes, but I'm gonna play with that a little bit here. I've got a couple of different camera angles set up here. So this is my primary camera view for when I'm reading through your guys' comments. But then when we go over to the news, for me, the news is over here. So I wanted to test out this new camera angle. So like, I feel weird when I'm like reading news, but I'm not looking at the main camera over there. So also just kind of playing with that. So just again, just testing things out here today. And of course, we're going to do another giveaway, $100 Big Bad Toy Store store credit giveaway to one lucky action figure enthusiast member at the end of the panel. So let me pull up our prize wheel, and we will pull this up. So so got the prize wheel here. We just picked up a new member just a short while ago. So first of all, let me give a big shout out to Stout Stag for becoming an action figure enthusiast channel member. And your name I did squeeze your name in on the wheel, so you will be a part of today's contest drawing. Now, anybody who joins from here on out, if you like run over and become a channel member right now, you won't make this this particular contest, but we'll do it again. We just did one like a week or so ago. Jackie was our last winner here. That was on a members only video. But unlike previous times when we've done the spin the wheel, doing a little bit different in that I am going to give whoever, we're only going to do one spin. And even if that person is not actually watching during the live stream, as long as they come back and watch it, in the next couple of days, basically you have until the end of the weekend you'll have to email me once, if your name is called here, if the wheel lands on your name, to claim your prize. And my email will be in the video description for you to do that. And you'll have until the end of the weekend. So come Monday, if whoever wins hasn't reached out to me to claim their prize, then unfortunately, they will not be able to get the prize, and we'll just do the giveaway again at a later time. As I've said before, I have to put like a window at least, because I can't just leave these contests open indefinitely and be like, have somebody contact me like 3 weeks from now and be like, hey, I just watched the video and I saw my name was picked, can I claim the prize? So I have to kind of put a window on it. But I also want to allow people who can't tune in necessarily at 3 p.m. to be able to have a chance at winning. Now, that being said, there are those of you guys who are always here at 3 p.m. Doesn't seem, no matter what day it is, you guys are always there. So we will do, some of these contests in the future where I will require, you to be online during the stream, just to kind of reward those guys who are always here, watching the streams and everything. But for this particular one, you're going to have until the end of this weekend. So basically, to the end of the 24th, August 24th, to contact me to claim your prize. But after that, then you won't be able to do so. But again, won't necessarily, since I doubt all 55, and that's what we're up to. We're up to 55 Action Figure Enthusiast channel members. Well, 56 if you count myself, but I'm not eligible for the prize. So we up to 55 of you guys. A big thank you to all of you guys. And if you don't know who they are, you can see their names scrolling down under on the bottom of the screen. But again, a big thanks to those guys for just going that little extra mile. All right, so let's do a quick roll call, see who is in the house today. And again, I believe this is something I'm kind of testing out here, I guess I could peek over. So I am seeing some folks from Instagram watching. It looks like, maybe, hard to tell. But I don't, like I said, I don't think those comments, if somebody comments on there, that they can actually see. And then on same thing with Facebook. So, but anyway, we're going to do a roll call. So I guess, long story short, hopefully, if you're new and you just happen to be on Facebook or Instagram and you decide to watch this, then welcome. But hopefully you will also jump over to YouTube and become like a channel member or something like that in the future. Because that's still, as far as the streams and stuff go, is the primary place to be. All right, so let's do a roll call, see who is in the house here, at least here on YouTube. So we've got Austin. Happy Friday to you, my friend. We've got John. Good to see you. Alonzo is in the house, so ready for JC News. Nice. Again, Stout Stag, our newest channel member. Big thank you. Quinn's Comics, always good to see you, my friend. Hope all is going well at the store. Hope you're, I hope, I don't know if you have this on in the store or not, but hopefully there's like a lot of people just watching at your store. Paciano is in the house. Happy Friday to you. Elio is in the house. What is up? We've got the Mass Figure Collector. What is up? Hope the family is well. Yeah, they're doing pretty good. Hopefully your family as well. Hopefully everybody's family as well. But yeah, we're doing pretty good here. Jay the Grind is in the house. What is up? Paul is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Steve Areno, good to see you. Yeah, that's something like hopefully you guys have noticed, like, not just the intros, the ending a little bit, but just like the channel. If you go to like the channel main page and stuff, I've been kind of sprucing up the graphics and everything. So really been, those last couple of weeks I've decided to put, do a little modernization with the channel. I've been experimenting with like I used to do all my video editing, like just through like iMovie on my Mac, because it was free and easy, and iMovie is very easy to use, but it doesn't have a lot of features and stuff. So I've been expanding and learning over the last several weeks Adobe Premium Pro for video editing and stuff, as I've gone back to doing the once a week pre-recorded news video for those who can't make the live streams. So I've been, working on that as well. So I hope you guys are kind of liking and enjoying all the changes. spread the word. Feel free to spread the word about the channel. Um, my main goal isn't, I don't concern myself that drastically with subscriber numbers or any even channel members, but it's always nice when you see your stats go up and stuff, and you see more people tuning in and stuff. And it can be difficult just because of the algorithm and stuff, which I've never been a fan of trying to try and conquer the YouTube algorithm. But Hanzo's in the house. What is up? William is in the house. What is up? Eric, Friday to you. Good Friday to you. Figure Fury, what is up? So it does look like we have a pretty good uh, packed house today. Eric is in the house. Camera 1, camera 2. Yeah. And like I wish I had somebody to like handle all the camera angles and stuff, but I have to like remember which one to touch and which and stuff. So sometimes those camera switches won't be super smooth, but hey, we do what we do. Let's see. Mike, man, sure, my crystal ball was canceled. Yeah, so I went into a long rant on that on Wednesday. Mine got canceled as well. So my friend Toy Newman said he was able to order 2 today from his local store, and they're supposed to be delivered. So if they actually show up, he said he was going to hook me up with one. But I've been checking, and only whenever I go onto Walmart's website, I just see like last time I checked, there was 3 different third-party sellers selling crystal ball for like almost $50. I'm not going to pay $50 for it. So, but yeah, that, again, I spent a lot of time on Wednesday ranting about that, and I even made a pretty long-winded opinion post on TNI as well. But as I said in that post, unfortunately, I don't think it will matter. I don't think Walmart cares enough to fix the problem. And the toy companies are not going to do anything to punish Walmart in any real way, in my view, because they are not going to alienate their relationship with one of their biggest customers, retail customers like Walmart. So I don't really expect anything to change. I expect my next pre-order, which is that 77 Marvel Legends Spider-Man, will very likely get canceled as well. I'm totally expecting that to end up getting canceled, which is supposed to ship right now next week sometime. But I'll believe it when I see it. Let's see. Edgardo De Seuss, good to see you, my friend. Looks like I don't recall seeing you on here before, so welcome, or at least I won't say never, but like there are names that I see on here. I see it, like I say, I see every time, and some aren't necessarily even channel members, but I still a lot of uh, familiar names on here, which is cool. That's why I do these live streams. It's because it's the best way to get to know you guys. I'll on a pre-recorded video, I will try and look at comments, but like maybe only once or twice after I've posted the video. I can't go back and like every day check every video that I post. So I get to know you guys much more in these live streams. Even like, some of you guys have gotten to know them through like Facebook and stuff, but these live streams where we can chat and you guys can ask me questions. You can correct me when I butcher a name and things like that. That's always a good thing. I know some people wish I would do the streams later in the day, later in the evening when people get off work, and I certainly understand that line of thought. And there are a lot of people that do streams in the evenings and stuff. So that's one reason, because I feel like the evenings get flooded with a lot of different toy tubers who do their streams then. But also, it's just for me, it's more difficult to do evening, nighttime streams. Otama Jersey Devil might be coming as part of the figure. Yep, they tease something today, so that's coming soon. So we'll talk briefly about that. I guess that's a good segue to go on and jump into the news. So Let me take me over here as we switch camera angles. And we will delve into the latest news since I talked to you guys on Wednesday. So, big news on the Marvel Legend front, which this, as we talked before, I was expecting this to get revealed during the Canadian Fan Expo, which is going on now, but I was expecting it to be revealed officially like on Saturday when Hasbro has its panel at 11 a.m. But they went on and officially revealed this yesterday. So Maximum Series Deadpool. I am pretty sure I was the first one to tell you guys that this was going to be the third Maximum figure in the line. It was like earlier this year when we first, actually, I think I was the first one to even tell you guys about this Maximum line, which, some fans seem to love, others seem to hate. So this line definitely seems to have mixed reviews. I did not get the Spider-Man one. I did get the Hulk figure one, which, you can see behind me hanging off the Dragonfly. I have not decided whether I'm going to get this one or not. It looks like a pretty nice Deadpool dupe, especially if you don't have the old Toy Biz one. Nice little addition, kind of a second figure. You get a lot of weapons. You get chimichangas, stick of dynamite, masked head and semi-unmasked head, some knives, of swords, of course, multiple hands, some shooting effects for the weapons. So I'm glad to see I think it was on Monday I had said that I was hearing rumors that we might see a price bump on the Maximum figures, starting with Deadpool, but it is $50 like Spider-Man, so we did not see that, which is good since these are already pretty expensive as is. He's got the pointy mask. So if you're a Deadpool fan, I think this is a cool figure. Problem is with this particular case, they've done so many Deadpool figures that, like, I don't know, it's like hard. This probably will be the nicest Deadpool they've done, but they've done some pretty nice ones. So then you have to weigh, do you really need, to buy yet another Deadpool? I think it'll sell pretty well. I think Deadpool's a popular enough character that even though they've done a lot of them, he will still end up selling pretty well. I believe this figure will be on display at some point this weekend. It was not on display yesterday at the Canadian Fan Expo. They may be waiting until Saturday, again, when they have their panel, to put it out. But we might get some additional looks at this figure this weekend at the convention. In fact, I would say almost definitely we will. Now, the pre-order date for this is next week, August 26th, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Should be available pretty much where all the same place all the other Maximum figures have been carried. So Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Amazon. But again, this goes up for pre-order next week, August 26th, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So a little bit of a surprise. I, again, was not expecting this to necessarily go up for pre-order this month. I was thinking maybe more likely early next month. But again, glad to see another rumor that we can now check off the list as confirmed. Now, speaking of pre-orders, that is not the only item going up for pre-order next week. One thing not going up for pre-order next week that I was thinking would go up for pre-order, but is not, is that X-Men 97 2-pack, the third and final one that they showed off during Comic-Con. So this is with the classic Cyclops and Jean Grey. And this still don't have a specific date yet, but according to Dan Young, this won't be going up for pre-order until September. So possibly the first week of September, but again, he didn't give a specific date. I thought it was going to be probably this coming week since we had just had the previous two, even though this was the only one during Comic-Con they did not actually give a specific date on. I don't know why that was, but so I don't know if there's something that's keeping the date in flux on this one that in other words, I don't know if they yet know when exactly this is going to go up for pre-order. They just obviously at least know it's going to go up in September. But this will be another Pulse exclusive, so just like the previous two X-Men 97 2-packs. So that will not be going up for pre-order next week. But the other item that we do have going up is that Wolverine premium mask. That will also be going up next week on the 26th. This was shown off during San Diego Comic-Con. Doesn't really do much, like it doesn't have like a lot of features, doesn't have moving eyeballs or anything like that. It does have the figure stand, or not figure stand, but mask stand, mask holder. So like if you want to display it on your shelf, you can do so. So that's pretty cool. This is $99. Again, this will be available pretty much everywhere that carries Marvel Legends stuff. August 26th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So those will be your two Marvel Legend pre-orders. As far as I know of, I don't think we're going to see anything else for next week. As far as this weekend, I don't know whether they will be revealing anything else during their panel. I felt pretty confident that the Deadpool was going to be revealed, being Deadpool's a Canadian character, and they like to announce Canadian characters during these Canadian conventions. But I don't know if they'll have anything else new. They may just go over stuff that they've already announced recently, or re-show things that they showed at San Diego. I mean, if you've seen the booth images going around, and these images come via Troy Collects. So one of the things they had on hand, which they didn't, I don't think they had at San Diego, is that Walmart exclusive figure. This is available for pre-order on the Walmart website. So this probably will not get canceled on you, being that it's still in stock. They only seem to cancel things that are sold out. So this is still available. Went up during the last Walmart Collector Con, but on display. Whereas I don't think they had this on display at the last convention. That Deadpool is an older Deadpool that you see in the image. Troy just brought it along for comparisons. So when they do reveal the Maximum Deadpool, I'm sure he'll post some pictures comparing this older Deadpool with that new one. But you can see this was on display at San Diego back in July, so we've seen this figure before, but just some nice images of the Mary Jane head sculpt. These are the figures with the magic cards. Again, that Wolverine, World War II Wolverine, I don't know why they put the gun in his hand like that. Eventually they fixed it, because you can see here he's holding it correctly. But that World War II Wolverine, which is possibly part of an upcoming Build-A-Figure wave based on rumors, but that's not yet been confirmed. And then they had X-Men 97 figures that we had seen, the new wave that we had seen at San Diego Comic-Con, and the other Magic figures. But basically nothing new out yet in the Hasbro booth. And not even the Deadpool that they officially announced yesterday, but I think are probably going to wait until Saturday before they put it out in the booth for people to see. But whether they announce anything else new at this convention, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I believe if he's able to, Troy is going to attempt to live stream the panel on Saturday at 11. So he has a YouTube channel. You can check that out. We'll see how that goes. But again, and Star Wars, remember, the panel is a combined panel with Star Wars and Marvel. That's it, though. No G.I. Joe, no Transformers, nothing else but Star Wars and Marvel. So we'll have to see, if they show anything else. The only thing I still go back to this weird post from Dan Young back earlier this month on social media on Twitter, where he just randomly posted this picture of the Inhumans Lockjaw and Crystal that went up for pre-order last September. So no other context other than I'm just saying. So that one was weird to me, only because there are rumors of a 2-pack, a new Inhumans 2-pack coming with Triton and an updated Black Bolt figure. So I could conceivably see maybe they were showing that off this weekend. I won't swear to it. They're obviously not Canadian characters, but just that's the only reason I could think of why Dan Young from Hasbro put up this random image of a old 2-pack that went up for pre-order last year and has been released. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have coverage on Marvelous News this weekend. Again, the panel's at 11 a.m., which the Canadian time is same as Eastern time here in the United States. So should be, late morning. If there's something new to be revealed, we'll start to see it around that time. In other Marvel news, that Mondo 1/6 scale Mr. Sinister, also from X-Men 97, will be going up for pre-order on the Mondo website starting on August 26th. So next week, last week of August, it's been a pretty slow week or month for pre-orders, but looks like some of these companies are going to cram in some final pre-orders for the month in that last week. But so this again will be this version will be offered on the Mondo shop. Again, based on the new X-Men 97 cartoon, 12-inch Mr. Sinister. We've seen this on display at like San Diego and a couple other conventions. So some damage there, different faces, pretty cool. I don't do 12-inch figures, which I'm kind of glad, because then I'd be spending a lot of money on these things. But like I say, that's going up for pre-order next week. And at some point, there will be a non-deluxe version offered at places like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. But for next week, it's the Mondo exclusive version. All right, so I think that catches us up on Marvel stuff. Though I will tell you, I guess these have not. We talked about these on Wednesday, but these have not yet gone up for pre-order. So I'm expecting them to go up anytime now, but they have not yet gone up for pre-order. So. Star Wars, don't have much for you on the Star Wars front. If you're in the Droid Factory, that probe went up yesterday on the Shop Disney website. Though it's sold out now, so never mind if you missed it yesterday. This has been hitting. If you have access to any of the physical Shop Disneys at like the theme parks, I know people have been finding this there. Whether they offer it again online, I don't know, but right now it is currently sold out. So it was $30. We can do a quick update on, just check in on the HasLab. Still going pretty slow last time I looked. Still have not reached the halfway point. We're at 3,645 with just a little over 17 days to go. Now, this should be also on display at the Canadian Fan Expo this weekend. Again, whether there's anything else new for Star Wars that they're going to be revealing, I don't know. I will tell you there are two actually, never mind, because I was going to say on the Entertainment Earth Drop Zone page, there are 2 Hasbro pre-orders listed on the day. Actually, I just want to check something. Oh, new boss fights. These just went up from Boss Fight Studio, but Hellboy figures. These are 6-inch figures. So both Hellboy and Lobster Johnson from those are available on Entertainment Earth. I think Big Bad Toy Store as well. But that's not where I was bringing you. I wanted to bring you over here because we have two different prop replicas listed on the Entertainment Earth Drop Zone page for August 26th. So one of them is the Wolverine mask I told you about, but I don't know. Like, I was thinking maybe. I just want to confirm my dates. So it may be the second one is the Deadpool that Entertainment Earth for some reason is listing as a prop replica. So that might be it. I was thinking, like, again, I don't know if there's going to be any new Star Wars reveals this weekend at the Canadian Fan Expo, or if on the Star Wars side it's just going to completely focus on the HasLab. But it's slightly possible that we could see a new Star Wars reveal or something that ends up going up for pre-order. So we'll just have to wait and see. Let's see. There's actually a third figure for you Hellboy fans. Grongotch. I'm not really familiar with that character, but rhino-looking dude from the Hellboy universe. Again, these are from Boss Fight Studios. Hellboy is going to stand about 7.5 inches. Again, this guy I'm not that familiar with, but it looks kind of cool. So he stands about 4.5, shorter character. Got additional accessories though. And then Lobster Johnson. He's 6.5 inches. So, these all seem to scale pretty well. Hellboy's the tallest, as he should be. So those are up at Big Bad and Entertainment Earth if you want to check those out. Mezco's new 5-point figures. So this Jack Nicholson Batman with the glider cape. I forget the guy's name with the boombox. He's actually featured in the. I don't know if any of you have checked out the recent novel that's kind of like supposed to be like take place like literally right after the first Batman movie. But he's actually featured in that. So he actually has a name, but I can't think of it, and I don't know if they list his actual name with the figure here. But besides that Jack Nicholson is actually from Wave 1. But there's a second. Oh, no, actually, I take that back. He just has multiple heads. So you can have with the chef's hat, and then you can have it with the makeup on, makeup kind of off, and then the makeup half off after the water gets thrown in his face. And he says he's melting. They call it so I guess it's face changing color. So I'm not sure how that works. I guess it's not multiple heads, but and then with you get actually two of the thugs, Joker's thugs. You get the guy with the boombox, or you get the big black guy that got hit in the head with the church bell. So two figures in one. You get the lighter that's like a blowtorch that he used to light the candles at the restaurant in the museum. Batman, this version of Batman also essentially you can do with the glider or without, so that's cool. Because they already did a regular Batman in the Series 1, but if you missed out on that one, you can get this one and have both the glider cape and the regular. So same thing with the Joker. They had a Jack Nicholson Joker with just like his regular look in Series 1, but now you get more of a deluxe version. So these are also available for pre-order right now just at Big Bad Toy Store. These are 3.75 inch figures. But I got to tell you, for the scale and everything, I mean, that does seem to actually really do a decent job of capturing Jack Nicholson's look. So, it's not highly articulated. It's a super small scale, but for that size of figure, they actually, I think, did a pretty good job. And there's a Batmobile. They've done a Batmobile for this line, this 5-point line as well. So, they've really been kind of expanding that. If you're into 89 Batman, they also do Batman animated series stuff. New wrestling retro 4-pack Mattel Creation. I think this is the last one that'll be offered on the Mattel Creations website. I think after this set, they will be offering these exclusively at Ringside Collectibles. But this one goes up next week, August 28th, on Mattel Creations website. So this one, you get Harley Race, Ultimate Warrior. You get Bobby the Brain Heenan. And then you get $1 Million Man's bodyguard. That his name's Virgil. His name slipped my mind for a second. He started out as the $1 Million Man's bodyguard, and then he kind of took on his own persona. But that 4-pack, again, is going up on Mattel Creations website next week, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, speaking of Mattel Creations and Masters of the, and Mattel Creations, and switching to Masters of the Universe, the Snake Lair has finally reached its minimum funding goal. So anyone who decided to back this one, it will be moving into production. Now, I clarified this on Wednesday, but just again, let me state, if you backed it from August 15th to now, or before it ends, it's got just over 5 days left, ends on the 28th. You will not get the skeletal Lady Slither. That's only included, both versions, the lower body snake or the legs, only included if you back this campaign up until the end of August 14th. So anyone after that, or from here on until the campaign ends, will not get this figure, unfortunately. You will get the 2-headed horse. Nobody to ride it if you backed it after the 14th. But you will get the 2-headed snake horse, the Chimera. You will get all the other playset accessories. And then the last question on this particular campaign is whether or not it will be able to get to 8,000 backers to include the Priest Origins figure, the Pythonus, the Priest Pythonus Origins figure. So that, again, is going to need 8,000 or up to 8,000 backers, which is 1,950 backers at this moment that it still needs in the next 5 days. So we'll see if it does it. It's going to need a pretty significant boost, I think, to get to the 8,000, which I won't rule out. But as I mentioned on Wednesday, being, if you were going to back this campaign, I don't know why you wouldn't have done it before the 14th, because I don't think they charge you until the campaign ends. And anyone who backed it after the 14th loses out on the Lady Slither figure. So obviously there's still some people coming in and backing it. Maybe it's people buying multiples to resell. I don't know. But it has been very slow going. It took days to just get the 100 that it needed. And it hit 6,000. I happened to be awake when it hit 6,000 last night. It was like at 3 a.m. Eastern time. It finally broke that 6,000 mark. So very slow going. I'm not convinced it's going to get as big of a boost at the end like we often see with these kinds of campaigns. I think it'll get some boost, but whether it's enough to get it to 8,000, I don't know. I believe the last Masters of the Universe campaign also fell short. The Eternia playset one, I believe, fell short of its stretch goal. So I think it is questionable, not impossible, but questionable that the Priest will actually end up getting included. I really do, as I've said before, I don't think the early bird is that advantageous to them. They should really just, in my opinion, let everyone who backs this campaign get the Pythonus figure and see if that gives you a big enough boost here at the end to reach the 8,000. But as it is, again, the Snake Lair playset is funded. If you're into Frazetta's figures, these are retro 5-inch style, retro He-Man-ish style figures. This style of figures become somewhat, based on nostalgia, becoming popular. But we got new Conan figures coming. These will be coming. We're getting these previews now, but more information should be coming soon. For you McFarlane fans, we've got new pre-orders. So this is the DC Rebirth comic book based Batmobile. We've seen it at some shows. It has now been officially announced. Listed as a McFarlane store exclusive, going up on the 27th. However, I will note this may end up also being offered on Amazon, like we saw with the 2022 Batman movie, Batmobile. Won't probably be a lot, so it probably won't last long on Amazon. But I would not be shocked if this ends up getting offered on Amazon. And then also sold separately, also being listed as a McFarlane store exclusive, going up on the same day, a Batman DC Rebirth Batman figure to go along with the Batmobile. They've done this figure before, but this one will have the soft goods cape so that he can actually sit in the Batmobile. So that will also be going up. Again, McFarlane store. We'll just have to wait until the 27th and see if Amazon does list it or not. But in GameStop Canada, EB Games, I'm sure we'll have it as well, for those of you in Canada. Those turtle figures we talked about are available now at Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, the Nobody, the Cyborg Donatello, and the Raphael Shredder. Those, again, all went up for pre-order this week. We've got some new Figma figures from Good Smile Company, Ghost in the Shell. This is up at Big Bad Toy Store. I was never much of a Ghost in the Shell fan, not big into anime and stuff, but I know there are a lot of people out there who are. So again, that's available at Big Bad Toy Store. They are listing it at $110. Supposed to be out in September of next year. So you got a ways to go before this one will see release. Also, Hades Figma figure. This is based on a video game. So, or a game. I don't know if it's a video game. I'm not familiar with it, but that is also up at Big Bad Toy Store. For anyone interested in the Nacelle Company Star Trek figures, they are now available on Amazon. If you've been holding off, they've been up at places like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. It looks like they maybe either got pulled down or sold out. So they were up this morning on Amazon, but they don't seem to be there anymore. So not sure what happened there. They are still up at Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. That's the first wave. We got some package images for the first couple of figures from Big Bad Workshop for their Soldiers of Fortune 112 scale line. So this guy, the agent, probably the coolest thing is, you'll notice that hooded, very Cobra Commander-like head sculpt. Might work with a Cobra Commander if you're still looking for a hood to go with your Cobra Commander. So that's been up, that's available at Big Bad Toy Store. Let's a closer look at him. If it fits, that definitely would be a great hooded head sculpt for your Cobra Commander. And then this other one, the Spy. So these are getting pretty close to getting ready to ship out to folks. Let's see. So somebody mentioned this before. New Figura Obscura figure coming in August 23rd. Four Horsemen are teasing it here with this image of a paper clipping. So that's tomorrow. So we'll have the reveal very shortly, and it'll be available, of course, on the Store Horseman website. So let's see. I haven't actually read this entire clipping, but so the first drop will be 9 a.m. tomorrow, Eastern time, and it'll probably these things usually sell out pretty quick. With a second drop following week, Friday, August 29th. So if you miss out tomorrow, you will get another shot at it. So more details, of course, will be tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll be talking about this in Monday's video. For you Hot Toy fans, if you're a fan of the Wednesday Netflix series, we've got a new Wednesday figure. The new season is available on Netflix now. I have not yet watched. I've seen season 1, but I've not watched season 2 yet. But looks pretty good overall. I like the first season. I can't say like I've been dying for an action figure from it, but I'm sure there are those who will definitely like to try and get this. So that is available for pre-order. Actually, is not yet gone up for pre-order, but should be going up soon. I don't think it's gone up for pre-order yet, but should be going up soon at Big Bad Toy Store. Also, Matt, going back to Masters of the Universe, that Mossman figure, we have official images now. We saw it at San Diego. I told you this was getting ready to go up for pre-order on the Mattel Creations website. So this is a new Eternia version of Mossman. Pretty cool. Maybe it would have been cool if they had tried to flock him, but still, overall, I like the sculpt of it and everything. Better than the last Masterverse one they did, I would say. So that's going up on the Mattel Creations website for Club Grayskull members on the 26th, and then everyone else on the 27th. I don't think it'll sell out, so I don't think you have to worry about becoming a club member if you don't want to. Just real quick, a new wave of Savage Crucible Series 3 figures are available at Big Bad Toy Store if you've been collecting those. Also, for Joy Toy fans, we got Stellar Scar Assault Team. Those are smaller scale, 1/18 scale figures. For you Lego fans, from Lego Ideas, we've got a new Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory set coming. So based on the original movie, but that is coming at the beginning of the month for you, again, you Lego fans. Not toy related, but wrestling related. There's been a change on the ESPN WWE pay-per-view situation. That's now going to begin earlier than expected next month. So the Paris pay-per-view on Peacock, I believe, will be the last one that airs on Peacock. Now, Peacock, you still may want to hold on to because it will now become the exclusive streaming place for Saturday night main events. It will no longer be aired on regular network television on NBC. You will only be able to watch it on the Peacock streaming service. So, and there are some other things that they're still going to be offering on Peacock, but that's like the big one. All right, so I think that catches us up on all the latest news. So let's jump back in and can start taking some of your questions. Actually, before we get into questions, so again, I just want this kind of just me playing with this little review setups. So I told you guys on Wednesday my 86 Studio Series Megatron arrived, so I've gotten him open. Overall, I like him. One thing I will say is I wish they had included some light piping on the top of his head so that his eyes lit up. So up until now, this had been kind of my non-masterpiece go-to Megatron that I've been using, which is also a tank, of course. I forget what series technically this Megatron falls under, but I liked it. But I wish they had done the same thing on the new 86 Studio Series with this light piping so that you get the red light up eyes on him. So that's my only minor complaint with this new Megatron. Otherwise, I think they, for the most part, nailed his robot mode from the movie. I love the look of the face sculpt. Of course, the legs are a little bit off because you got the tire treads on the back and everything, so that's not 100% G1 accurate, but I can live with it. His cannon, it just pops in. So you got that. This piece is gun barrel, which is not a gun barrel since he doesn't actually transform into a gun. It's just removable. I think it would have been kind of a cool idea if they had made it some way where you could, if you wanted to, attach it to the side here so it was more, so you could like replicate the original G1 toy. I mean, that's not a big deal, but I just was like, that would be kind of interesting if you could actually attach it over here if you wanted to. I think one time in the cartoon, he had the gun barrel, that always in the cartoon resides on his back, but like he had it like come down and shoot somebody, like one time I remember in the cartoon. But that was the side thing was the toy, not the cartoon. The back, overall looks pretty good. Like I said, for you extreme purists who like want 100%, the bottom of the leg's a little bit off because of course he does transform into a tread. But I mean, it looks a lot better than like this one. This one had the actual real treads. I like this one. I've always kind of liked this one. I thought this was a cool one that they did. But so, and he can bend his knees, he can bend his elbow pretty good. He can get the arm out, so he's got pretty good movement. Oh, and I did, if you were wondering, it's like, well, can you switch the heads so you could have the light piping on this one? And the answer is no, they connect differently. I haven't been able to get this head off, but I can tell, even if I got it off, it's got a different type of connection than that other one. So you wouldn't really be able to put it on there. So, and then just for some size comparison. So this one, I originally was not going to get the 86 Studio Series Optimus Prime, but then when I decided to get Megatron, I was like, well, I got to have Optimus Prime. So I went on and got Optimus Prime. So they scale pretty well with one another. Now Megatron, besides his arm cannon, so So he comes with this laser sword that he ends up, when he's fighting Hot Rod and happened to be laying on the ground, or not Hot Rod, but when Hot Rod jumps him and he grabs Hot Rod and he's got this laser sword, but he used this on Optimus. But it wasn't like something he was carrying. I think it just was something that happened to be laying on the ground when he was fighting Optimus. So, and one thing I was thinking is because like Optimus, the Optimus comes with that energy axe that he used in the first in one of the episodes in the first miniseries where he fights Megatron, who also had like the energy mace and chain, which they did not include with this Megatron. So they included the laser sword that he uses in the movie, but they did not include like the weapon to go up, to go against the energy axe, like they did with Optimus. So here, of course, here's a comparison with my go-to Starscream. So with his king, from the movie. Now, of course, even though Megatron does not transform into a gun, they have included a small gun. So, you can pretend he transforms and then falls into the hands of somebody like Starscream, like he often would in the cartoon. Now, it's not the first time that they've done a little mini Megatron gun, but still, I like that they included that. And so, again, Megatron is taller than Starscream, as he should be. So at least scale pretty good with one another. And then finally, of course, ultimately, Megatron is soon transformed into Galvatron. So these two scale pretty well with one another. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this Megatron. I primarily had done Masterpiece, but I've been getting more and more into the Studio Series stuff, especially since they really don't do much in the way of Masterpiece anymore. At least not G1 Masterpiece. So I'm looking to fill out. Like I've decided we're never going to get an official Masterpiece Jazz or Mirage. Those were like the two I needed to round out my masterpiece of like the season 1 Autobots. So I decided last night I actually went online and bought third-party versions of Jazz and Mirage that are masterpiece scale and such. So I'll see. Hopefully, they weren't super cheap, but I just felt like my shelf was naked without having Jazz and Mirage with my other season 1 Autobots. I had already completed my season 1 Decepticons by getting a third-party reflector. But so I'll let you know when those arrive, how I like those. I don't generally do third-party, but like I say, they seem to have pretty much kind of walked away from masterpieces, so I just don't feel like we're ever going to get official masterpiece versions of Jazz and Mirage. Now, some of the mini Autobots that they haven't done masterpiece for, they are doing such a good job with in the regular Hasbro line, like the Brawn, the Bumblebee. Well, actually, the masterpiece Bumblebee I have, but the Brawn, the Gears, like the two that they need to do updated mini bot versions of that are better sized are Cliff Jumper, and I think it was Huffer is the other one. Maybe they've done a good Huffer. I'm talking about season 1 mini bots because they also have like season 2, which they've done some good ones as well, like Cosmo and such. But who am I? Gears, Brawn, Cliff Jumper, Bumblebee, and Wind Charger, I think, are the 5 season 1 Autobot minis. So yeah. But I know, like I was looking when I was looking at Mirage and Jazz, I was looking at like third party Cliff Jumpers because I was like, that was one I really would like to get a like. Hasbro has done one, but it's too small to fit in with the Hasbro or with the Masterpiece one. So um, I need a little bit taller cliff jumper. Chris, Galvatron should be. Yeah, I agree, probably, but it's close enough. I mean, it's not so bad. But yeah, probably maybe an inch or two taller. Galvatron should be. I also have the translucent Galvatron that they did that's supposed to mimic like when Unicron is transforming him. So I feel like we need I feel like at some point we're gonna get a battle. I know they did like some very limited release painted battle damage one, but that didn't really look movie accurate to me. That was super expensive and rare. But I feel like at some point, like they did with those, with like the Ratchet and the Brawn and some of those others, where like they're getting shot up in the spaceship. I feel like we need like a Megatron that's got like cracks here on his mask and stuff, and like oil dripping out of his eyes and stuff, like you see in the movie after he's been fighting Optimus Prime, like cracks on his chest and stuff. So I feel like at some point we'll get like a repaint of this one like that. But they should also do like a translucent one, so you can like do like the multi-step transformation. Because like I said, they already did that with Galvatron, but they need to do a similar translucent one with Megatron as well. All right, so let's see. That I believe is like today. Let me see. I know it's coming up here because I saw them just put out something saying last chance like today or yesterday. Now their site's not coming up. I can't even find it on here. Oh, here we go. I don't want to join. Like you'd think maybe it already ended. Maybe it ended. Maybe yesterday was the last day. Let me try this. I've not been following that one super close since it already reached its funding goals like a while ago. No, it's got 7 hours. You got seven. If you haven't backed that, you got uh you got 7 hours. So it's currently up at 623,397.82. A total of 3,554 backers and 7 hours to go. So today is the last day. That's what I thought. This is for the Snyderverse Batmobile. You can get one or both the Dawn of Justice or the Justice League version. So you got a few more for anyone still wanting that one. You've got a few more hours to back that one. All right, what else we got? Davey Rocker, Mattel has always had less success at crowdfunds than Hasbro. Yeah, well, first of all, Hasbro does a lot more of them. Hasbro or Mattel, they only do them generally for either WWE or He-Man, and they seem to alternate. So they do like one a year. But Mattel, when it comes, I've said this before, when it comes to big companies, Hasbro has learned over the years how to reach the collector market a lot better than Mattel has. With all the live streams Hasbro does, and and even like at a convention, it's like it's night and day. Like you can go in the Mattel booth, and other than maybe like somebody like Steve Ozer, who's one of the brand team members on WWE, like you may never see a brand team member for like Masters of the Universe. If you're lucky, like at a Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, you might run into one of those guys. Whereas like you go in the Hasbro booth at a Comic Con, and you'll always see people like Dwight and Dan and Ryan, and same thing with the other brands, GI Joe, Lenny. Um, you'll almost always see those. I mean, they go on breaks and stuff at times, but you will more often, your chances of running into those guys and being able to ask them questions and talk to them about the brands and stuff is it's like night and day. Nobody does a good a job with that than Hasbro does. Even like smaller companies often don't do nearly as good a job with that kind of thing as Hasbro does. So um Hasbro, I think, has always, even early on, I mean, nowadays with the adult thing, the adult collector has been deemed more, I guess, important. But even going back to the early days of me covering this stuff, Hasbro was always more in tune with the adult collector. They're not perfect. Obviously, they do things that people complain about. I complain about. So they're not perfect in any way, but they do a better job of trying to communicate and interact with their collectors, fans, whatever you want to call them, than I think any other company does. And I think that translates into things like the HasLabs and stuff as well. Eric, I'm sure folks got the regular, maybe. Well, again, that was a very limited Mattel, as I said on Wednesday, that was a very limited Mattel Creations exclusive. And that sold out, if I remember correctly, very quickly. So when it went up for pre-order, so yeah, some people I'm sure got that, but certainly, like if you were like, I really like this play set, let me go order a Lady Slither figure so I have the character to go with it. You can't do that, and since they're not offering it with the play set, if you don't have Lady Slither, you've limited, in my view, you've limited a part of your consumer base just by not offering that figure. That's how I view it. Now, again, I said this on Wednesday. I'm sure there are some people who are just like, I don't really give a crap about Lady Slither. I just want a cool playset to display all my other Snake Men figures. So I'm sure there are those out there that kind of look at it like that. But but I still think they've limiting themselves to a certain extent by not offering the Lady Slither to everybody. Vince, have I been keeping up with the new Skybound GI Joe comic series? It's truly amazing read. Which characters from the comic would you? So no, I have not. Unfortunately, I have not read really any comic book in years. I used to love comics back in the late, going from the late '80s through all the '90s, early 2000s. But I really don't read much in the way of comics anymore, and I have not had the pleasure of checking out the Skybound GI Joe or Transformer or any of the Energon universe stuff. I've heard pretty good things about it, and you're not the first person I've heard say good things about it. But I have not. check that out. The I like, we've got the Globulus, which you've got some classic aspects from the movie with that figure, but it's also based on the Skybound series. So I like it when they kind of do that. Um, Pythona's coming. Obviously, I assume Globulus is in these stories as well, since the others are. And I'm pretty sure we'll get Globulus in the classified line at some point. William, I love the OK of that gunship, just not my scale. Yeah, it's a nice. I'm sure you're talking about the Republic one. Yeah, and again, we've talked about this. It's bigger than the previous ones that they've done. I'm sure it's nicer overall. I just don't know. Obviously, and again, I'm going to tell you, even though it hasn't even reached halfway yet, as I've said before, I've seen with some of these campaigns where they literally get over half of their backers in like the last 2 days of the campaign. Not just the minimum, but they even some of the stretch goals. So you can never underestimate, especially with something like Star Wars that's going to have a lot of international buyers as well. And often those don't get added in until the last few days. So that's, I think, will be the saving grace for the gunship, is when they add in all. And I think like the international Pulse websites, they add in pretty quickly. But I think when it's like an e-tailer that's selling this for them where there's not Pulse available, that's what gets added in on the final days. Um, so, I mean, I'm not going to say it's 100% going to get funded either, but I feel like the gunship will at least end up meeting the minimum funding. But I think it will take, yeah, it'll go right up until the very end before it does. Automatom, I'm interested in the Hellboy figures. Final product sometimes looks kind of plasticky. I might wait to see how they turn out first. Well, that's always a decent idea. I don't think I've ever owned a Boss Fight Studios series figure, so I personally cannot tell you, speak to their quality. They look pretty good in pictures I see, but I don't think I've ever owned a Boss Fight Studio figure. And I've heard pretty good things about their Popeye figures, so. Just as I was reading that comment, I had that music, the Prince music, playing in my head. I love that soundtrack. I love both the orchestra soundtrack from that movie, and I love the Prince soundtrack from that movie. You dip your head in cold water and it changes. Gotcha. For the color change effect. I wonder, like, because you got like the three different, but I guess the longer you leave it in the water, the more it changes. But then, of course, it's going to change back after it warms up after a short while. I almost feel like, I mean, I'm sure it's cheaper to do it the color change way, but I almost feel like it would be cooler if they just gave you two different head sculpts. Talking about the 5-point Jack Nicholson Batman figure. X says, I got charged. Mattel charges when goal is achieved. Okay. Well, that makes sense, I guess. But so you got charged last night or this morning, I assume. That's another thing. I've never backed any of the Mattel crowdsourcing campaigns. Because I just don't really I don't collect wrestling figures. So I haven't, the wrestling stuff hasn't appealed to me. And then you know, when they started doing the crowdsourcing for Masters of the Universe Origins, I had pretty much stopped Origins as well. So if they ever did like a cool Masterverse crowdsource, I might consider it. But or when they take over, I'm sure when they take over DC Comics, I'm sure we'll probably start to see some DC crowdsourcing campaigns from Mattel. So we'll see what they end up doing on that front. But as of right now, I've not yet. I've never personally backed any of the Mattel crowdsourcing campaigns. Davey Sakura says I'd get the Ghost in the Shell figure and her robot skin look. Eric says I watched one of the series in early 2000s, but that old movie is awesome. Yeah, I don't know why I have never really gotten into like anime stuff. I remember when I was in high school and my friend gave me, I think it was like the Akira movie, and I tried watching it and I was just like, this was like on a VHS tape, and I was like, it just didn't hold my interest. So I don't know. It's just never Dragon Ball Z. I've just never things like that. I've just never gotten into. Davey, I'm very curious to see how the articulation works on those Star Trek figures. I don't know how Nacelle is able to charge so little for so much. There has to be some kind of concession and production process. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I mean, so far my biggest complaint is just character selection, but I was debating like if I was like when I was posting about those being on Amazon this morning, I was thinking in my head like which figure, like if I was going to get any of these figures in series 1, which one would it be? And it'd probably be Captain Sulu. um I was thinking about like the three I would be most interested in is Captain Sulu. um I definitely would be interested, like if I was going to start collecting these, like I would definitely get Captain Sulu. I would get Peter Preston, and Valeris I would probably get just because of the Genesis device and hope we one day get a con figure. The others I probably would not be that. I definitely would not be interested in the Captain Archer from the Mirror Universe. If somebody ever gave us Enterprise C, Diamond Select was going to one and then never did. If somebody gave us an Enterprise C, I might get the Captain, Captain Garrett. The Tuvok one, I have absolutely no interest in. The Jericho, I don't really. Captain or Jellicoe. I mean, I don't have much interest in either. So, but I was thinking like as just a test to see how they are and how they compare with like the older Art Asylum uh, Star Trek 2 figures that I have. I was thinking about maybe getting Captain Sulu. So if I do, I wouldn't buy it until it actually is released. I'm not going to pre-order it, but I might just to see how they are. Uh, Check out Captain Sulu. Mr. All Might. Yeah, I'm gonna probably get Mossman, the Masterverse Mossman. That I will probably order next week. Bash in the Beach. Isn't that like a? I thought that was like a TNA, like become a TNA pay per view or something. Like I watched that AAA pay per view that they played on YouTube last Saturday. That was actually a pretty good pay per view. The luchadors and all that. That was actually a pretty good, entertaining pay per view. I call it pay per view. They're not really pay per views anymore, but that's what I still call. And I mean, we'll find out. From what I understand, and I'm not going to swear to this, but from what is, if you have ESPN in some way now, you shouldn't have to pay extra to watch WWE pay per view. So, like, if you have ESPN channels on Hulu, which I do, that's where I get my ESPN. Not that I ever really watch ESPN anymore, but but I do have it on through my Hulu package. So, but I'm not going if I have to like buy some extra streaming, I probably will just stop watching WWE pay-per-views. But from what I understand, because like I have ESPN through Hulu in my package with Hulu, um, I should not have to pay anything more to watch WWE stuff. Now the question is, like, I did end up subscribing to Peacock just to primarily watch WWE stuff. I do watch I I do watch a few other things occasionally on Peacock. I do watch like Law and Order, Organized Crime, which they moved exclusively to Peacock. So I have been watching that on there. Um, but I am, once the pay per views for WWE move off Peacock, I'll have to decide if I want to cancel my Peacock subscription because I feel like I'm not really getting like I'm so tired of like I get like I primarily subscribe to Paramount Plus for Star Trek stuff, but I don't really watch much else on. I watch HBO Max very little. I probably will watch Peacemaker. I watch an occasional thing here and there, but like for so many of these streaming services that I have now had to subscribe to, it's only to watch one or two things. The one I use the most is probably Amazon Prime, followed by Netflix. Those are the two streaming services I probably watch the most. Hulu. That's how I get like live network television these days because I don't use cable anymore. But Disney Plus. The only time I ever watched Disney Plus, and I've been watching Disney, even the I got it for the Marvel and Star Wars stuff, but even that I've been watching less and less. So that's another one that I kind of look at and I'm like, why am I still subscribing to this? So, I mean, I'm not going to drop Disney Plus because I'm going to want to watch things like the new Daredevil season and things like that. But it's like there's very few of those streaming services that I watch more than like one or two shows, and it's gotten so ridiculous that you have to subscribe to so many different streaming services just to watch a few shows. I mean, it used to be, that's why I cut my cable because cable had gotten so expensive, but now it's just gotten to the point where they make you subscribe to so many different streaming services that to watch things that it's just got a little ridiculous. Mr. or Mike, I should say, my dog just went nuts, went upstairs, and FedEx was there with my Cantina HasLab. Never even got an email. I knew those were shipping. We talked about that a little bit on Wednesday. But glad your dog, because they make you, usually they make you sign for it. They're supposed to make you sign for it for those HasLabs. They don't always do it. So, but glad your dog alerted you. My dog always alerts me anytime the doorbell rings because I don't like when I'm down here, I don't hear the doorbell, but I can hear my dog when he starts running around the house like a madman when somebody rings the doorbell. So good that you have that alarm system for you. I'm glad you got your cantina. Hopefully you like it. I, I, I would have maybe backed that cantina playset if they had just done the rubber band cantina doors. And if you ever had the original Kenner cantina, you know what I'm talking about. Zim, you just got your Cobra Rattler today? Damn. I'm glad you got it. Surprised it took so long. Steve Areno, I think I haven't looked closely at those. So I'll be honest with you. I don't pay that close attention to Kickstarters unless it's something Big Bad Toy Store ends up carrying. There's so many different Kickstarters out there these days. I'll get people that will want me to advertise their Kickstarters for them, but to me, unfortunately, there's a business side to this, and it's like you got to pay to advertise. Or, like I said, if it's something where like a Big Bad Toy Store carries it, then we'll be more inclined to cover that. But there's just so many Kickstarters out there all the time. Um, I I mean, obviously, Laurel and Hardy is, I know who Laurel and Hardy is. I can't tell you that I've ever sat there and said, gosh, I wish I had Laurel and Hardy action figures. But again, every niche has, its collectors. So hopefully it'll be, if that's something you're interested in, hopefully it's something that succeeds. And usually, if it looks like it's going to succeed, usually, Big Bad Toy Store does end up carrying all that stuff. So. Eric says, I think they should have offered tiers on the Snake Lair. Tier 1 is the playset for 200. Another tier is playset figures for 300. Well, that's not how tiers generally work. So, well, I guess it depends on what you're referring to as a tier. I think of stretch goal, but usually the base price is based on, they take the price that it costs to make them and they take how many they need to sell, the minimum number they need to sell, and still be able to make some type of profit. And that's usually what they base it on. Then the stretch goals are usually extra costs, but the cost is offset by the extra volume of people buying it. So the more they can produce it, this again, general rule of thumb, toy manufacturing is the more they can produce, the cheaper it is for them to produce it, because the bigger the order they can place at the factory, the more of a discount they can get. So the stretch goals aren't free. They're not really free. They're just, the cost of them is being offset by the additional people who then come in and back the campaign. That's why when people say like they should just throw this stretch goal in for free, essentially, and they can't really do that because then they would lose money. Oh my God, Otis and Microman, that needs to be a tag team. That was like one of the best parts of the show is when and then Microman screwed over Otis and pinned him. but that was great. That whole segment was great. I'd never heard of the Osmosis. I think that's his name, the big giant guy. But I guess he's been around for a while. They just don't use him much. But yeah, Otis was in AAA, and it was pretty good. He didn't win though. It was like a Royal Rumble type match, and he didn't win. Mike, yeah, Peacemaker started this week. I have not watched the first episode yet. I'll probably watch it this weekend. I've heard kind of mixed things about it. I would tell, like, Peacemaker season 1, I started out not really liking it, but then as the season went on, it grew on me. So I'll have to see how this season does. I did see like the opening sequence, like I thought I wasn't as, I love the opening sequence in season 1. I wasn't as impressed with. I think it was more about the music, not the dancing, that I didn't like as much in the season 2 opening credits. Oh yeah, my Transformers. I've got one for GI Joe like this as well. It doesn't fit as well though. Steve Reno, yeah, I backed the Space 1999. Yeah, that I saw that one. I definitely saw. I have never seen a single episode of that series. I don't know why. I guess because it was never on syndication when I was a kid. So I've never seen. Like I know of it. When I see the ship, I recognize it. I recognize the actors from it, but I have never watched a single episode of that series. All right. Well, we've gone way past the hour. So I think we are going to call it a wrap. But I want to thank everybody who is tuned in. I'll have to see how the Facebook and Instagram streaming turned out. Oh wait! We can't end yet. Shit. We got to do a giveaway. All right. So almost forgot. All right. So again, this is for Action Figure Enthusiast channel members. Currently 55 of you on the wheel, 55 names on this wheel. And I'm going to spin it. It's going to land on one name. I will call that name out. If we'll wait a minute to see if that person is here on the stream today, but if not, hopefully they will come back and watch the stream when you can just watch it as a regular video, and they will have until Sunday, the end of Sunday, so basically through the weekend, to email me. My email will be in the video description, to claim their prize. And if they don't by the end of Sunday, then we'll just have to try again, but they will have missed out. So in other words, if like for whatever reason whoever wins doesn't watch the video until Monday, unfortunately you won't be able to claim the prize at that point. So you won't don't email me at that point. Again, I got to hold true to the window. I got to keep the window there. I'm giving you a couple days. So hopefully every channel member at least will watch the video by Sunday. So we're going to spin the wheel here. I have no idea whose name's going to land on. But let's go on and do this. And away we go. Oh my. Holy crap, Stout Stag, our newest member, literally just joined right before this stream, has won the $100 store credit. I have not seen him chime in since I saw his name pop up as a new member. So I don't know if he's actually even watching. But that is some lucky ass shit. Signing up just a few, right before this stream, and he is our winner. So congrats to Stout Stag. We'll give him a few minutes here to see if he is. Oh, he is here. All right. So you, my friend, are the winner. So congratulations. So email me. I'll put the email in the video description. So after it becomes a regular video, you can check it out there. It's jayenewsi.com if you can remember that. But again, I'll have it in the video description. Just send me an email. I'll just need your name and email address that I will then send on to Big Bad Toy Store. They will get you set up probably next week because they're, the people that set up the credits aren't working on the weekend. So it'll be next week before they get the credit set up for you. But congratulations, man. I hope you stay on as a longtime channel member. But that's just, we do these enough on a regular basis. And it's great that I have 55 channel members, but your odds are still pretty good that sooner or later you're going to win. Jackie was our winner like a week or so ago when we did this the last time. So, and we've done this multiple times. So I'm trying to do more, content specifically for channel members, but this is really my way of saying thank you to you guys for going that little extra mile, which is essentially you're paying 99 cents to become an Action Figure channel member. So again, thank you very much. Anyone who's not a channel member, again, you might want to think about it, because we will probably do this. And I will be absolutely honest with you. If the more new channel members that I get, the more likely I will do these contests. If I feel like I'm not, nobody's becoming channel members and stuff, and I'm not creating content that's interesting to people, then, it's what's the point? But if I see, and again, I'm trying to balance it so it's not like I'm just trying to bribe you to be a channel member. I'm trying to create content that hopefully you guys will find interesting as well. But the results definitely, the more channel members that I get, the more incentive I have to do these kinds of giveaways and stuff. So, but even still, I've been doing them fairly regularly. So, because again, 55 of you that have decided to become channel members is just totally awesome to me, that you're willing to pay even just 99 cents just to listen to me ramble, is really awesome. So, but Stout Stag, man, lucky man today, deciding to join and now is a winner. So, like I say, look for my email when this becomes a regular video. Congratulations to you. Thank you again to everybody. Thank you to everybody who just watched or is watching this video or will watch this video. Even if you're just a normal subscriber to the channel, that's much appreciated as well. So, but that's pretty. I was like, not that I wouldn't want them to win again, but I was like I debated like shit. So we just gave Jackie a prize, a week and a half ago. Should I like take their name off the wheel for at least like a spin one of these times? But then I'm like, but just because you won once doesn't mean you can't win again. So I left their name on there, but I was kind of like hoping that it wouldn't land on them again, just so it wasn't like the same person winning. Just because I want to spread the love to everybody as much as possible. But yeah, congratulations to you, my friend. And thank you to everybody who tuned in. Hopefully this went pretty smoothly. We didn't have too many technical issues, which was nice. So still kind of getting the feel for the camera angle thing, but hopefully that's going pretty well. So, John, I love you, man. But I'd rather you spend the $5 on toys. Like the other way you can support me and this channel and the websites is, go buy toys from our sponsors. That's probably, the 99, like to do the channel member thing, I've got to set a minimum amount. The lowest amount I can set is 99 cents. It's not, the channel member thing isn't really about the money. It's just, but I know the more like the channel members, like I said, I don't like playing the YouTube the algorithm game, but I know as a channel member, you're more likely going to stay tuned in to the content that I'm putting up here. So that's really what it's more about. The 99 cents is a little bit extra bonus that I have to split with YouTube anyway. So, it's next to nothing. If it was more about money, I'd probably set up a Patreon website, because I believe you can keep more of the funds from that. But this is easier for me doing just the channel member thing. But like I said, it's not really about the money per se. It's just, that you guys are willing to go that extra mile to become, tune into my content and stuff is really what it's about for me. So, but I appreciate it, John, always, like I say, it is much appreciated. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Next week, again, we should be getting some Marvel Legend news. I won't say definitely, because I don't know if they're going to show anything beyond the Maximum Deadpool, the Canadian event, but maybe we'll get some additional Marvel Legend news this Saturday. Maybe some Star Wars stuff. We got some pre-orders to end the month next week. Pre-orders next week to end the month, I should say. So, so like I say, stay safe out there. Keep it to the websites this weekend for all the latest news, whatever happens. And then Monday I'll be back with a pre-recorded video. And then probably next Wednesday will be the next live stream. And I've got like I say, I'm looking for things to do for member only content, which usually probably, if I do, will go up on Tuesdays or Thursdays. So, all right, guys. But again, have a great weekend. Stay safe. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later. Thanks for watching today's video. Now, if you're new to the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. For all the latest action figure news, be sure to head over to toynewseye.com, marvelousnews.com, JediInsider.com, and tformers.com. And remember, action figures are great,